Yo, salute everyone. Knicks Real Talk pregame. Kings of New York versus Sacramento, man. We in the building right now. Knicks Real Talk. Salute everybody. Hope y'all had a great day there. I'm in here, man, about to get it popping. Knicks down at the world most famous arena tonight. Get to Sacramento Kings at 7:30. So we're gonna get it popping, talk about the game today and everything else involved with it, man. Go all the summaries, all the injury reports, and all that good stuff. We're gonna break everything down and get it popping leading up to the game tonight, man, at the world most famous arena. So we're gonna see if the Knicks can get off that 4-game losing streak. Go in there and get it popping today, man, and try to bring this W back to the Garden. We lost 4 games in a row, so we're trying to find a way to get back in the winning column. So it should be an interesting game tonight. I'm looking forward to it, man. See the Knicks can bounce back and get this W tonight, man. I hope everybody had a great weekend, man. They ready to get it popping tonight. In here with Knicks Real Talk, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and everything. And salute to everybody, man. Salute to the chat up in here already. Shop Howard, Frank Monto, D Nice. Salute to you guys, man, for coming in, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, man, we're gonna get it popping, man. Knicks got a game today, man. We gotta really get into it. A lot of interesting stuff to talk about moving forward, man. And we already know that we almost close to the trading deadline. We're gonna get into all that tonight. We're just gonna break everything down, but we're just gonna stay in tune with the game right now. Like I said, mentioned man Divine, the host with the most. I'm in here, man. Salute to Will, salute to the chat. Yeah, man, let's get it popping, man. Yeah, we got to try to get this victory today, man. We need a victory in the worst way, man. We need it. We need to find a way to get this losing streak off our back, man, and try to get a win to get some good feelings up in here. So hopefully the Knicks go down at the Garden tonight and try to compete and come out with a victory tonight, man. Because we really need this game to stay in this thing, man. We lose tonight, could be interesting the way New York will be going right now. We lose the game tonight, man. We fall 5 games under 500. And it's looking more bleaker. The more we lose, the more bleaker it looks. So hopefully we don't have that problem tonight, man. I hope we got some good vibes popping off, and we get it popping, man. We go in here and salute the bodega. We go in here and try to get this W, man. Like I said, we really need it. It's interesting to see, man. Like I said, the Kings coming to town. 7:30 game, man. See if the Knicks can get off their behind and get it popping. We already talked about the De'Aaron Fox thing coming up in the Garden. He's out there in the trade chatter. People want to switch him and Julius Randle, but we're going to get into we're going to break all that down later, man. We're going to get into the trade talk, but we're going to go over the game semantic first. And like I said, man, really important game for us today, man. We need a W in the worst way. We really do, man. We haven't been playing no good basketball. Starting lineup is not gelling, connecting where we want them to. We got to see what Ted's going to do with this thing, man. And we got to find a way to get it popping. We really do, man, because we are really, really going through it right now. We're after coming off like an 11-game, 8-3, and all of a sudden lose like 6 out of 7 games, or 5 out of 6. It's just not a good feeling in the Mecca right now, man. So let's hope that tonight is a different story, man. We go in there and play hard for 48 minutes, leave everything out on the floor against an 18 and 30-something Sacramento team who we should be able to beat. But you know what? It could always be a trap game for us. Because I think, other than R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson, the team is not really playing well. I mean, from the starting unit anyway. Our bench is playing pretty decent. Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, special. He's playing real good ball for us now. We haven't get to see what Cam Reddish can do yet because of the situation that he came over in. Hopefully that thing will get resolved one day sooner or later. Hopefully at this trading deadline we can move something where he can get some time. Because I hate to see a young talent like that sit on a bench, man, and just don't get no opportunity to play. So we're gonna get into that, man. See how Tibbs gonna do that thing, man. I think he's starting to hear the noise around New York. It's like, why did y'all bring Cam Reddish over here? He's not getting no burn. Why the starting lineup in here playing too much when they're not producing? So, I'm quite sure he's getting to hear it as well. So, like I said, man, in a couple of days from now, February 3rd to be here, guys to be eligible for trades. Whether we make trades or not, I'm not sure. But we got to do something to shake the thing up. If we don't turn it around before the trading deadline, then you best believe we got to be some wheeling and dealing going on. So we're gonna take a look and keep our eye on that. But let's just get into everything that's going on tonight right now. For the starting lineup projected once again, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Evan Fournier, and Kemba Walker for the Knicks. Have nothing changed there for as I know in the last 30 minutes, whatever the case may be, nothing changed there. And for the Sacramento Kings, you got Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, Rashad Holmes, Davion Mitchell, and Tyrese Halliburton. And then if you look at the injury report and you see why he's not there, but Derrick Rose and Lucas Salmon two-way is out. I think Nerlens Noel is questionable from what I heard. And then for the Kings, De'Aaron Fox, ankle was questionable. Marvin Bagley the third, and Terrence Davis are out. So we might get to see De'Aaron Fox tonight. We might not. I would love to see what the man could do in the Garden and the bright lights. We haven't seen him play because he's on the West Coast. You don't get to see a lot of Sacramento games. Let's hope that my man De'Aaron Fox will play tonight. If he could play tonight and let's see what he got, man, then we all as Knicks fans can say, whether you truly want the guy in New York or not. Did he leave a good taste in your mouth after tonight's game? So maybe he might play, maybe he won't. But it'll be a good test for being that his name is out there. It'll be good to see if he get to suit up tonight for the Sacramento Kings against the Knicks tonight. But like I said, man, we down at the Garden tonight, man, and hopefully this thing is, we ready to get a win tonight, and we should be able to get a win tonight. Like I said, it could be a trap game, but I do think we can get a win tonight. We go in there and play hard for 48 minutes and do all the things that we're supposed to do, and as a team and everything, and I think we can get that W. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Knicks come out and perform tonight at the arena tonight. And I think it's going to be interesting, to see how these dudes get down. Peace to the guard, unique salute. Chris Woodward, Chris, how you doing, sister? Hope you're doing well tonight. Fabian's in the building as well, man. Salute everybody up in the chat already. Yeah, man, but it's going to be an interesting game tonight. We need this win in the worst way. Like I said, we just got to have it. We got to have it because it's needed. We lost 4 in a row, and this is a big test for us, man. I kid you not, because this starting lineup since Kemba Walker came back, guys haven't been performing like we wanted to. I'm not all Kemba Walker's fault, but we haven't been performing. Like I said, we done lost 5 to 6 games, 6 to 7 games. He's been back. It's just not gelling there in New York. So we got to find out what we're going to do here and how we're going to get this thing turned around and get a win here. We do need a win tonight in the worst way, like I said, man, for real. And we got to go down there and get a popping today. And we hope, like I said, you're right. We hope Julius Randle can get back into it, man. He, had a day or two to clear his mind, get his mind right. And Tom Thibodeau saying that he wants Julius Randle to be more selfishly with the basketball. So maybe he need to be more selfish. He need to convert back to the Julius Randle like last year, that he's really dominating that ball because, everything else is not going the other way you like it. And so it's going to be interesting tonight, guys. I really do think this is going to be a pivotal game from this standpoint. If the Knicks lose that game tonight, and I don't know if Tom Thibodeau can justify leaving that team the way it is right now. I really don't. There's no way he can come back in the next game and say that I'm going to really saying guys out there if they lose tonight. Because if they done lost 6 or 7, 7 to 8, whatever, there's no way you can justify that. Let's hope that these guys go out there and win tonight and give Tom Thibodeau a little bit more breathing room with the starting lineup. Because you ask me personally, not enough defense in the starting lineup. We losing by a lot of points. We giving up too many points. It's like we starting to give up 110, 112, 100, all that, man. And that's not the New York Knicks team that we was looking for. We thought the team was going to be a little bit more competitive on the defense end. And though we had a little better offense going with Kemba Walker and Neville Fournier, but too much inconsistency. There's just too much inconsistency with the team. 1 minute they got a great game, 1 minute they don't, and that's not good. That's not a formula for winning. So we do got to find a way to resurrect that thing, man. Because if not, then we better pull a Lazarus on this one. Because we got to pull a Lazarus with the starting lineup. If not, you got to do a little bit of switching, I think. And I really do, man. I just think it's too much offense, no defense. And like I said, it's starting to show up in the stats. I'm quite sure if you look at our numbers over this year, our defense is abysmal. It ain't nowhere where it was last year. And we got the same team that we had last year except for 2 starters. And I agree with you on that. I think we should make changes early, man. If the team get off to a rugged start, you got to find a way. I thought he was going to do it last game. He didn't, but you see what happened. The results stayed the same. It stayed the same. And we just can't continue down this road with the way this team is playing, so inconsistent and no defense there. The New York City is prided. The New York Knicks is a defensive-minded team. They got a defensive-minded coach, but I don't think you got the defensive-minded players that you once had last year that's making the defense accountable. Because like I said, we score well and still we score 110, but we give up 112. We score 108, but we give up 114. We gave up 39 points in the other quarter against Milwaukee the other day. Come on, guys. There's no way in New York that we can live like that. So we have to see that thing turn around and really, really try to get this defense back to where it need to be. The New York Knicks won't go nowhere without their defense. Now, I've been harping on that all year. The New York Knicks will not go nowhere without their defense. Because like I said, you score 140, you give up 145, you're still lost. You got to be able to stop the team that's in front of you. You got to be able to stop the guy in front of you. And I think that's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to playing gritty, man. I don't know, nice as Kemba Walker is, I don't think he got the grit. I don't think Evan Fournier got the grit. RJ Barrett's coming around. Mitchell Robinson got it on the defense end. RJ's better at defense. When Randall wanted to play defense, he could play. But we fell off on the defense, and man, I think that is the tell all of our season right now. Look at the last 6 games. That tell you right there. You know what I mean? That's where it's all falling down at, man. I think we got to find a way to get that popping. And only, you know, in that second unit is they playing hard, and we don't look for them to keep bringing that energy tonight. But I don't want to see the Knicks put the pressure on that second unit like they have been doing lately. What they are doing is they're getting down, causing the second unit to come in, had to fight to get back up. You know what I mean? I think you want your second unit to come in and maintain the pace, not have to catch it up to it. So, you know, when they come in the game, they down by 10, 11, that's not what you want your second unit to do. You want the second unit to come in there either when the game tied or they got a lead to maintain till they starters get rest. But it seems like it's the opposite direction. It seems like them guys got to come in the game and try to get us back in the game. And not just a recipe for disaster. And so far it's showing that ran its ugly head. We 23-27, 4 games under 500. So we got to find a way to flip that mode and get these guys back to coming in here in the second unit with the lead, the team either right there or with a lead. That's the only way we're going to be able to sustain it right now. But other than that, man, that's pretty much what the story is, guys. In New York right now, our team is really lacking on that intensity, the focus. You know, other with everything Julius Randle was going through, you know, we understand that what he was going through with all that noise. I'm gonna hope Julius Randle bounce back and have a good game, man. If Julius Randle gonna be here, he need to revert back to the Julius Randle that he always was. You know, just going in and playing basketball. But I've seen some things that bother me a little bit, you know, so that's gonna be interesting to see how that transform. Man, child, salute, it's good, my brother, salute to you. Because they got a real interesting matchup. Can if Davion Mitchell start and him and Halliburton? Wow, let me see what Fournier and Kemba Walker gonna do against these guys tonight. You know what I mean? This team should not lose. The Knicks should not lose to this team, regardless of whom or what. They should not lose to this team. So, you know, but they're young and talented though. Halliburton having a great season coming back off his injury. Davion Mitchell, you know how he get down coming out of Baylor, surprising rookie. He really defend the ball very well. I mean, they got an athletic Rashad Holmes. He jumps out the gym. We got the veteran Harrison Barnes. You know, they guys in there who could play, man. But you can't take this team for granted, despite what their record is. And if De'Aaron Fox playing, then that makes it even more harder. So, you know, I want to see our guys scrap and grind today. You know, that's all to it. We got to scrap and grind, get it popping, and go in the garden, let the fans get behind them, and try to get this victory. We need a victory tonight, man. And you know, and that's telling me that that the Knicks, they got to be up for this. We know R.J. Barrett going to do R.J. Barrett thing. That's one young man right now I'm not concerned with. He is playing good basketball for the New York Knicks. And even though a couple of games the percentage wasn't there, but overall the man been scoring 20 lately on the average. He's playing hard. He's showing that compassion, that leadership. I'm really impressed with R.J. Barrett as a 2.5-year, third-year guy, man. The way his maturation is taking place. Let's hope that star R.J. Barrett have a big game tonight. Him and Julius Randle. I need them two to lead the Knicks tonight. Julius Randle or R.J. Barrett got to lead the Knicks. Whatever Fournier and Kemba Walker give us, that's just a plus. But we need them boy the 2020 tonight. We need Mitchell Robinson to be dominant a little bit on the boards. You know, give us a double-double. Then let the bench come in and do what they do. They've been playing good basketball. Quentin Grimes special. Hope pretty soon he get the reign in that, get to move him in that starting unit. I think he'd be a good plus for us on the defense. And that 3-and-D on that in that starting unit, excuse me. So I'd like to see Quentin Grimes get in there, have a good game night. Quickly been playing good ball this year. I just want to see these guys come in and get it popping, man. Obi Toppin the last couple of games, he's shown why he really want to be a part of this team. And if we start losing, man, it's time for the youth movement. And I think we're gonna have to take that into consideration. That if the Knicks start losing, do not seem like we're gonna get up in this playoff thing. Then you know it's time to let the young boys roll to get them ready for next year. Really, man, we have to get it popping up in New York. So let's hope this thing pan out tonight the way we do, man. We go down to the world most famous arena and go in there and get it popping against these guys, man, because we really do need that. But I'm real quick, though, salute to the chat, man. Everybody in the building, man. We appreciate you coming in tonight. I'm real talking to everybody where you're streaming in from, man. I appreciate y'all checking out Knicks Real Talk tonight. I'm in the building. Hopefully I get the guys come on later on, man. We have some panel members in it, but you know me, I'm going to keep it grinding, keep it moving. But yeah, man, we going in there tonight, man. We got to win it. 4 games in a row we lost. Not looking good. A lot of noise floating around the area, man. Y'all know how the tabloids and all the blogs and the back pages go, man. You know, you're starting to see a lot of negative energy coming out of New York right now. You know, and I'm here to try to change that vibe tonight, at least for one game, man. Let's get this thing popping tonight. Come on, New York. Let's go down here, go to the Garden, home court protected. Let's get back to New York Knicks basketball. That's what we need to do. We need to get back to playing New York Knicks basketball. We have to start tonight. you're right, man. We've been doing that, you know what I mean? But we got to find a way to stop it. But if it gets deeper and deeper, I just think it gets worse. So this is going to be an interesting next, 10 days, guys. It's 10 days before the trading deadline. It's going to be a really important stretch for the Knicks. What do we do? How do they bounce back from this thing? Do they get up in it? Do they win some games, a couple of games in a row to get back where they at, man, to try to get it going? And we're going to see, man. And I think, man, child, that might come to bite back pretty soon. That's going to bite Tom Thibodeau in the butt, man, if you don't get the lineup change. You cannot go out there with Kemba Walker and them starting like that, man. The record speaks for itself. You know, they 1-6 and 0 pretty much with that game he didn't play. They didn't win. But the game he didn't play, they won. Excuse me. I apologize for that. So yeah, I think between him and Fournier and that starting lineup, one of them got to get shooken up. They're not going to be able to do it without on the defense end. They're giving up too many points. Like I said, God, they're giving up 30 points in the first quarter and coming out the gates already trailing every game. That's a recipe for a disaster. And so we got to hope that they can change that thing around on that standpoint. Find a way to get these guys more engaged. Julius Randle got to set the tone, man, and him and RJ Barrett got to set the tone. And that's really what they need to do. Let them guys set the tone, man, and run the offense through RJ Barrett and Randall and catch Kemba Walker and Fournier where they need to be catched open and let them pop them threes down. And then once Kemba get the ball in his hand, get and drive to the hole if you have to. But right now, guys, it's really not looking good. It really isn't. So we got to get this thing turned around one way or the other. But I'm confident, though. I'm optimistic. You know me, man. I'm an optimistic brother, man. I'm hoping that we can go in here and really get the W tonight. This should be a winnable game, man. Come on now. Sacramento 18-33, they're a West Coast team. You know, they play against a lot of good competition out there, so you can't take them lightly. But we should win that game at the Garden tonight. For some reason, we don't win that game, oh, man, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So, let's hope that this thing, it don't go that way. Hope we be in the Garden tonight, we get it popping, and we really take this thing and do what we need to do. If you look at the key matchups tonight, it's going to be the backcourt to me. What can a Knicks backcourt, our veteran backcourt, with both of them got 10 years worth of experience on them, do with that young backcourt they got? Halliburton, 2 years, 3 years, 2 years probably, or 3, and Davion Mitchell's a rookie this year. What can our experienced older backcourt do with that younger backcourt? Them be the two guys that play if De'Aaron Fox don't play tonight. Can you keep up with them young boys? You know what I mean? And see if they can't, then that's going to be a problem. So I'm looking for Fournier and Kemba Walker, man, to handle their business today, just from their veteran experience. You should be savvy enough to get these guys fits. But Halliburton is a lanky young man on the cusp of doing something special. He got that length. He got good IQ with the basketball. He could do it all, man. So I was hoping that we go up against these young guys and give them some experience tonight. Experience is the best teaching, but them guys gonna definitely outpace us with them young boys, man. They're gonna have Kemba Walker and running tonight. They're gonna have Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier on their heels tonight. Rashawn Holmes and Mitchell Robinson, that's gonna be an interesting matchup as well to me, just due to the fact of their athleticism. Rashawn Holmes get up in the air with the best of them as well. We know Mitchell Robinson can also get up in there, man, and Rich got a little bit of size on him. So I am hoping that Mitch can use his size advantage of Rashawn Holmes. But Rashawn is a leaper, though. He's a leaper. The young man can get up in the air. But I'm hoping that Mitchell Robinson can use his physicalness against Rashawn Holmes and make him salute to God, peace, Lawaz, peace to God. That we can big task salute, and that we can go in there and get this thing popping. But we need it in the worst way tonight. So and for us, you got to think about Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is a savvy veteran. Him and RJ had a handful. Against each other tonight, and I really think that's going to be interesting as well. Harrison Barnes or RJ. And let me throw that starting lineup back up there, and I can tell you who's going to play the 4 against Julius Randle. And I'm going to bring my man KJ Vince in the building with us. We get it popping as well. But if you look at their starting lineup, Marvin Bagley. I don't think Marvin Bagley's playing tonight. So, but that would have been interesting as well because that name was out there too. I don't even see the Buddy Hills thing out there. Buddy Hills, he might play tonight. I'm not sure. But you got to remember Buddy Hills is still there. Marvin Bagley is there. So they got some young talent there, man. And we can't take these guys lightly today, man. But without further ado, let me bring in my partner in crime, man. And he can get a popping with me up here, man. I got KJW Vince in the building. KJ, what's going on, fam?
Salute Divine, salute Knicks Real Talk family. We here on this beautiful Monday, about to be the Black History Month tomorrow. You know, it's time to get started. This is around the same time we got started last year on our 16-4 run. So, Devon, do we have it in us to do the same repeat as last year as we did today? I mean, as last year. I think we do. It's just that we in a rough stretch right now, and it's either we're gonna go here or go here. Hey,
Yeah.
hey D, I got another question for you, Devon.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the Knicks? Like, if we go in, if the ship is sinking, right? Do you mind, like, if we got to rebuild this thing again?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think if the Knicks start losing and they do not go in the direction we want them to go, sell high. You already got a bunch of young talent on here. I don't know if you got to do a total rebuild, but we got to reshuffle the deck a little bit. Bring the right players in here.
Right.
I think we got to bring. I think we got to bring the right players in here because we got a lot of young talent already there. You know what I mean? So I think we got the player that we can rebuild around already. It's about getting rid of some of the key veterans who in the way, like the Alice Burkses of the world, the Kemba Walker, the Fourniers. I was talking with them three, and then you throw Noel in there if you want to. Them the four guys I think you start with, and then by doing that, you can have Cam Reddish playing more, McBride playing more, if that's what we're gonna do. You get rid of them guys, and then you get the McBrides playing. You get the Cam Reddishes playing. You might get a chance to see Lucas Salmonich come up and play. So yeah, right. That's what I was saying. These next 10 days is a really important stretch for the Knicks. Either we win or we going home, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I do want to see. Don't get me wrong, guys. I still believe we can get back up in this thing. It ain't over yet. But it's going to have to take some soul searching and some lineup shaking, KJ. I don't think we're going to get there with Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier starting for the Knicks.
Right.
I just don't think that defense team is strong enough to compete because they're not fast enough. They're not strong enough. And guys is getting by them, and especially Fournier at the 2. He's playing some of the most quickest and strongest guards in the league at that spot. You know what I mean? And Fournier, he's not a athletic dude. He's more of a savvy finesse guy. So when he's going up against these guys at the 2 who can really get it, they giving it to him because he don't have that defense instinct to maintain against some of these younger athletic two guards in the league that just can get it. You know what I mean? I think that's a problem. And Kemba Walker, obviously, because of the knees, not a great defensive player. And I think that's really Achilles heel. So yeah, I do think that's the problem right now. But if this thing don't get no better the next 2 days, I think we have to shake it up.
Yeah, I just feel like the energy is not there right now, and when your energy is low, these things happen. You know, I just feel like they need a spark, they need a change. You know, if they're not going to make no moves, you got to shuffle the deck, like you said, in that lineup. We got pieces, get those young pieces in there, but you know, we know how Tibbs coaches. He's going to go with that same starting unit. He's going to go with those same rotations. He might let like a player like Grimes play a little bit more because he's coming off now, but you know, something has to change. If not, we basically back on the same boat we was in last year and prior to this year before that. Like we back into this 20-year. It just seems like it's a story. It's a nightmare that's never going to end for this team. We hear one time, and the next thing you know, it's something different. So it's like, you know, I just don't know about this team anymore. D, like we hot, cold, but it seems like we more cold than hot.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm wondering if them guys waiting us. They hoping that my man's going to get back sooner than later, Derrick Rose. But by the time he come back on February 25th, it might be too late.
Yeah,
you know, I really think it might be too late. Now, if they say he was coming back right at the trading deadline, the next 4 or 5 games, then you might say, okay, we can kind of maintain till he get back. We do miss his 13 points a game. We miss his veteran leadership. We miss a lot of that. But like I said, it's going to be a big, and we got a brutal schedule coming up the next 5 games. So right. I don't know what the Knicks, what they're going to be able to maintain. I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping the game they start. If they win tonight, okay, then you catch a break there. You lose, you get a game, then you get the next one. Now you're down 2 games under 500. But you about to go on that brutal road trip, though. You know what I mean? So I think by going on that brutal road trip, it's going to be really it'll be tough for the Knicks. But they really got a brutal schedule coming up. And you know, and I just think that's something that we're gonna have to deal with. And now I throw it up there, guys, so you can see what we're up against going into the next so many games, because it is going to be a major task for us, man. Let's just throw that up right there, quick, guys. You can see what the Knicks up against in the next couple of games. Right now, as of today, obviously we got the Kings today. Then we got the Grizzlies Wednesday. But after that, we going on a road trip to LA, the Jazz, the Nuggets, the Warriors, the Trailblazers.
Wow.
And right, so we going on a 5-game West Coast trip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the good thing about that, then we come back to the Garden for 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 games. Then we go back on the road for 4, 5, 6, 7. So this schedule is gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be something that we got to deal with, KJ and chat and everybody. Let's hope that we up for it. If not, it's gonna look bleak. It's gonna look bleak in New York.
Right. And D, if you ever look at it, we're sitting at 23 and 27 right now. You know, the 8th seed is the Raptors. They're 24 and 23, right? So it's right. We're there, but we're not there. So we know if we string, we've been saying, and it seems like we sound like a broken record. I know I do. If we string along 4 or 5 wins, we'll get right back in this thing. Other teams lose. It can happen, but it's happening at a slower pace than it did last year, and a lot of that because Randall was having a breakout year last year. So I think that was the biggest thing, and right now we expect him to have that same energy he had last year, but this time we have more pieces on the team. It's just to me that the coaching, and I like Tiz, but the coaching is not playing all the pieces at the right time or pulling pieces out that don't need to be in there because we have weapons on that bench. It's just that it's just too much. It's too many people benched on the bench right now that for us to use. So it's like we're here, but we don't know which way we're going, and it's a problem if we want to move forward, D. And I'm hoping that this New York Knicks team can turn it around for us, man, because I really want to get in this playoff hunt, man. I really think if we get to the playoffs, everybody clear the whole borders, everybody 0-0, and we can get right back in this thing like Atlanta did last year. They just became hot at the right time. Yep. And we just haven't hit our hot streak yet, you know, and it still can happen. And I believe you, D. It can happen, and I want it to happen. It's just that they need to hurry up and do something quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts. Yeah, salute to Roberto. Mendez. Roberto, salute. Thanks for coming in the chat, man. We appreciate you, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, Roberto. Stay part of the family, man, and come over here when we get in the popping. Will said 120 and 10 Randall tonight. I love to see that, man. Real talk. But you know what's interesting to me, and I think with the 2 acquisitions, man, like I said, this is the same team we had last year. Think about it. Other than the rookies, it's the same team we had last year. And we changed. We put 2 guys in, but 2 guys out. And we thought it was going to make a difference on one way, and it made a difference in a negative way both ways. That's what's tough. We thought we were getting a little bit more offense. We were going to lose a little bit on the defense. We thought we were gaining more offense. We literally not getting either one of them. You know, so like you say, every now and then, inconsistently, it's just inconsistent. But I do think that we got to start tonight, KJ. I think we start tonight at the Garden. We go down in the arena tonight. It could be a trap game, but the Knicks got to win that game tonight. If the Knicks lose that game tonight and fall 5 games under, it's going to feel like the bottom of fell out. You know what I mean, KJ? It's going to feel like the bottom fell out. The negative energy is going to be in there. And it is just going to be like that. You know what I mean? If we lose tonight in the Garden and the Knicks lose, which I don't think they will, but if we lose tonight, can you imagine what it's going to feel like tomorrow? Everybody's heads. We already got the Randall trades out there. We already got the Kimmich. Now we're going to have Tiz need to be fired. That's already starting to circulate. So you're going to start hearing that. Boy, don't let them fans get the Blue Birds going out tonight. So the Knicks got to go in there and get it popping tonight. Go in there, play hard, play 48 minutes. Don't get down 30 in the first. Let them score 30 in the first quarter. You're getting down by 10. Then the second unit got to come in and try to get us back in the game, which that's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to come in there in the first quarter. When it's time for the second unit to come in, we should be either up or we should be even, so they just can maintain to the second unit, to the first unit, get their rest and get back in there. But unfortunately, it seems like it's the opposite. It always make you want to start the second unit. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. But we got to find a way to get this thing popping, man. I don't think this thing over, but it starts tonight, though.
But do you know the catch-22 to that is when Randall was missing the game because of COVID protocol, he had to go with lineups, and you seen that, like, man, we felt that as the Knicks fan base, excuse me, that we need Randall now. So it's like you need him, then we don't need him, then he gets on the court and he performs well, so this season is a back and forth season, and everybody's not on the same page, you know. And of course, last year we were saying with Peyton, my man, he was like 2 for 20 for missing layups, but he couldn't hit a jump shot. But the one thing he provided, he was a 6'5" point guard that played great defense and could push that ball. And so Randall had to take it over, but you know, now you have so many guys like Randall on his team, like a Kemba Walker, like an Evan Fournier, that can do multiple things. But when they on, they on. When they off, they off. So I agree with you. The defense takes a big hit. So my thing is now, what do we do with this? The trade deadline is February the 10th, right, Devon?
Yeah, correct.
I'm here to tell you, Knicks Real Talk family, if the Knicks go on a 2-3 game losing streak, I think they trade in the house, man. Or not even trade in the house. I think that they and I said it before, I think they keep Randall. I think they make the small move to get more assets going to the summertime for a bigger trade in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, you know, you trade Randall right now, it's like, all right, maybe we can get some more from him. What's the reason to trade him for? Like, he's not doing good. But if we make a trade for Randall right now, does that automatically make our team better? No, it doesn't. Because then it's the same thing. You bring somebody else in here that had a system, or you bring up Ben Simmons in. Nobody has seen Ben Simmons play since last year when Philly booed him out of there for missing shots, right? We have not seen Ben Simmons at all. So we don't know what Ben Simmons is going to look like. And then look at everything that Randall's going through. Do we really think Ben Simmons can handle the New York City crowd? You put a litmus test out there, and the answer is no right now because we haven't seen it. So it's like, what do? We stay with Randall for right now. We make the small little trades for bigger assets, or we trade Randall, right? If we do trade Randall, we get even bigger assets to build upon for the summer and next year. If he says, you know, if he's not wanting to be here and he can't handle the pressure, I just feel like they're not going to trade him right now. And we still got a chance. Like I said, we churned it around last year. The same thing can happen again. So that's where I'm at, D.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think this here, for the most part, everything going to be dictated in the next 3 or 4 games. I really think that's what's going to determine. Because think about this here: if you win the next 2 at home, you're 25 and 27, and with the way teams are losing in the East here and there, you just never know. But if you lose the next 2 or 3, it's just gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder to get about it, the dungeon when you're starting to fall deeper and deeper. It's like, you know, you always you see light at the end of the tunnel, but then your car stall, and next thing you know, it's starting to back up more. And I think we can't afford to get too deep in there. But for like the pressure with these guys, like Chris Woodward said, this is New York City. You can't read the papers. You got to block all the noise. The only thing you need to be concerned about is what happens inside Tarrytown or inside Madison Square Garden. Don't get caught up in all that stuff. You know what I mean? You know, don't get caught up in all that stuff. Go in there, play basketball. Focus on how getting your game better. Focusing on what makes you better. Focusing on when you're doing something wrong, come back the next game and try to correct that mistake. That's where I started lineup. To me, like I said, I'm going to harp on this till the cows come home. Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. It sounded good when we did it, but now that the season is in here, the trade didn't pan out the way they wanted it to. Let's just call it what it is. It didn't pan out the way they wanted to. I thought them cats were going to give us a little bit more defense. They didn't give it to us. I thought they were going to give us good offense. It wasn't consistent. One night, Evan Fournier got 20. One night, he got 4. One night, Kemba got 16. The next 4, you don't see him, or he got 2, 3, 4. I mean, not when you got players of that caliber or on that level. These guys is 10-year vets. One of them is a 4-time All-Star. One of them was borderline All-Star when he's at his best. And you know, and I'm not blaming on them too, but they part of it because Randall, Mitchell Robinson, and RJ was a part of this team last year. They was part of that 41-win team last year. Them same 3 dudes until Mitchell Robinson got hurt was in the starting lineup. So you take Reggie Bullock out, you take Elvis Payton out, you insert Kemba Walker, and you insert Evan Fournier with the other same 3 starters, and we going in a different direction. Our defense is struggling.
Yeah.
So I do think, and this is the reason why I think this is the reason, Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker needs the ball. They need it. They are scorers. Reggie Bullock and Elfrid Payton didn't need the ball. So Julius Randle didn't have to worry about, do I got to pass the ball to this guy or pass to RJ? He can kind of focus on being selfish sometime and go do Julius Randle things. Now he got to make sure that Fournier can get it going. He got to get Fournier going. He got to get Kemba going. RJ going to get RJ going. So I do think that it kind of took away a little bit, and I think that's the problem to me, is that you got too many guys can shoot, not enough guys who don't need the ball. See, Reggie Bullock didn't need the ball. Right. He didn't need it. You find Reggie Bullock in the corner, bang. Elfrid Payton had that ball in his hand. He'd try to break down the defense and get to the lane or whatever he can when he can. And even though his offense wasn't there, but I was willing to take his offense because his defense was that good. So you still got average from him. You got like I say just a 0 plus minus. With Kemba Walker, you getting a negative because the defense is not good, and if he's not scoring, that's worse. At least with Elfrid Payton, you know what you would get when you would get on that floor. He wasn't taking shots from RJ. He wasn't taking shots from Julius Randle, and we knew that Reggie Bullock can get that 3-ball popping. But see, with these two guys coming in, they brought in here. They take the shots, man. Right. And like I said, you got to have somebody in that lineup who do not need the ball. Like I always go back like a la Dennis Rodman or somebody who just wasn't dependent on they need the ball to score, but they did everything else. We don't got that guy who do everything else in the starting lineup, and that's why I said like the Quentin Grimes. You need a Quentin Grimes who can play D the way he played and can shoot like Reggie Bullock did. To me, Quentin Grimes is a smaller version of Reggie Bullock. You know what I mean? Right. 3 and D too. Yeah, Alec Burke. Yeah, a 3 and D dude. You know what I mean? Who just don't. He don't have to have his ball in the hand to score, but if you get it to him, he's gonna get it popping.
Right.
And I think that's what we felt. We kind of lost favor this year. And I think that's why our record speaks for itself. But I think the sun come out tomorrow, man. Let's see, KJ. I think tonight it starts tonight. Right. Go in there, limit the turnovers, the rebound. You know what I mean? Hit them free throws, man, because that's been killing us. And that's what's so disappointing. It's the way we've been losing. The free throws, the turnovers. A lot of games we should have won this year, man, because of the basic thing. The splits wasn't there. The free throw shooting wasn't there. Field goal percentage wasn't there. Then every now and then the defense wasn't there. I mean, so I think that had a lot to do with it.
So D, if we got rid, say trade deadline, right? We make a trade. We get rid of Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, right? Now we insert IQ, and say we got rid of Alec Burke too, right? Say we got rid of those 3 guys. We keep Julius, right? We get minor assets. We get a first, second round pick for these guys in a serviceable NBA player. But now we could bring in a Cam Reddish. We could bring in a Grimes. We could bring in an IQ. Are you okay with that? And the reason why I'm saying are you okay with it is because maybe these guys that are sucked on that bench haven't yet got a chance to really prove themselves, and they can make a late run. Are you okay with that move?
Oh, absolutely. No question. Here's why. I'm telling you why I'm good with that. Believe it or not, it might not be at his level, but Quentin Grimes can give you what Burks and Fournier can give you. He shoot the ball just like them, and he play good defense. So here's why I've got a problem with that. I don't even have a problem with starting Quentin Grimes over Fournier. Now I've been telling y'all that for a minute because he's giving us something that we need in that starting lineup. We need a defender at the 2. We need somebody who's going to slow the other guy down. I don't have a problem with the Knicks taking that starting backcourt, putting it on the bench, and let Quickly and Grimes start for the Knicks. I don't, because they both pressure the ball. We won't be getting blowed out by 30 points in the first quarter all the time. This is crazy, man. You look at every game we play, and you look at the first quarter, we've given up 30. That's not the New York Knicks. Right. We never was like that. So I have no problem. I have no problem letting Quickly and Grimes run the 1 and 2, and let Burks and Kemba Walker and Fournier back up. You know why? It don't. Because I think this is why I like to do it, KJ. Let's say you put Quickly and Grimes in there, right, guys, ladies and gents, and they maintain it. Then you get Kemba Walker and Fournier come off the bench with that lightning offense and keep us in the game.
Right.
But now to me, it's like it's the opposite. It's like we got Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier in the starting lineup and we losing leads. I'd rather for them to come in while we got a lead or we can maintain and keep it on. Then them guys come back in like Burks and quickly put pressure on people to ball out. So, that's what I would love to see from the Knicks, because I do think that right now the way it's presently constructed, it's not working. I definitely think that I will have a problem with that, like you said. And we just got to move a couple of people. Cam Reddish cannot come to the New Yorks. Cam Reddish should not come to New York next. He's sitting on the bench this season. That's crazy.
Can't happen.
It can't happen. That shouldn't do that.
It can't happen. And you know what? I would even throw Noel in there. And the reason why I throw Noel in there, he's been inconsistent. He hasn't been here, but we know when healthy, he can help a team out. Mm-hmm. So I would throw him in there, shed his contract, and bring all these guys up. You bring in serviceable players, man, and I guarantee you, we'll have a better team. Now, I want us all to pay attention to right now, trade deadline February 10th. So from tonight's game until the end of this week, we have the next couple games, we have to take a close watch at the times that the players who we think are going to get traded, watch their time. It should tell you something. We see Grimes getting a lot more time. So it should tell you something if the times are going down for some of these guys out on the trading block who we think they are, and more guys are playing. Because if I know I'm got to make a trade for somebody, guess what? I'm not going to play that player a lot of minutes so he can get hurt. Then mess my trade value up. So we have to, Nick Nation, Nick Real Talk family, pay attention to all the lineups and how much minutes these guys are going to be getting, because this should tell you something. Who's going to get traded or who may be traded. And I'm looking forward to it, D, because we need a change. Don't forget, D Rose is on his way back within the next couple games. With Clark Jam now, with D Rose coming back, that takes away somebody's minutes who's getting a lot of time, like a Quentin Grimes. Deuce McBride can't even give him the floor. Cam Reddish cannot even get on the floor, D. So it's like, we're at a Clark Jam. But the problem is the front office know they made a big mistake on Evan Fournier's contract. Nobody wants to take on that contract right now. So it's like we're at a crossroads. So whatever trade does happen, D, it'll be a 3-4 team trade because it's too much going on. That's why I said I would add in a player like a Noel with a second-round draft pick, 2 second-round draft pick, just to shed these contracts, get these guys in and out, because we got to do something quick.
Yep. I do think there's a way to get rid of Evan Fournier contract. That happened last night. Send him out to Utah. Joe Ingles just went down. Done for the season. 3-point shooter. Can shoot the ball. That's what Joe Ingles do. You see, I bet you you might can get Evan Fournier out there with Rudy Gobert, his countryman. Now they're gonna need somebody to replace Joe Ingles or Alex Burks. Alex Burks played for Utah. That's where he started at. He understands the city. He know the city. He understands the organization. Between Alex Burks and Evan Fournier, I would be calling Utah right now. Listen, you know what I mean? You just lost one of your key 3-point shooters. Mm-hmm. Evan Fournier, that's the type of atmosphere I think he needed to be in. See, Evan Fournier was playing in Orlando all them years, low suburb, no pun intended. It's not New York City, you know what I mean? It's more laid back. It's a laid back atmosphere. It's real slow, you know what I mean? And then he comes to the Big Apple where all this hustle and bustle, you know what I mean? And he's so used to playing down in Orlando in that calm city. Maybe that might be a good look for him out in Utah. Call Utah, say, listen, you could take back some dead money or whatever just to free up. I would take Joe Ingles back. I think Joe Ingles ain't got that much left on the books. But at least you got a roster spot opened up. You know what I mean? You can get Evan Fournier out there to Utah. He fits Utah. He fits that type of environment. Alex Burks, he started his career out there. That's the first team I would call up. Call them guys up and say, listen, you lost one of your major players that was going to help you get in the playoffs and fight. Joe Ingles, that's what he did. He's a knockdown 3-point shooter. So I'll allow the Knicks brass out. That's the first thing I would do. I would be on the phone with Utah and see if they're willing to do something with that. You know what I mean? And I think that'd be a way to get his contract. But see, you got to remember, Evan Fournier, even though it's 19, 20, 20, that last year ain't even that's team option, not player option. So, but for what he do, I'm not. He just don't fit New York City, KJ. I don't have a problem with his contract, but what we need in New York City, he can't give us. He can't give us the defense side of the ball. I just don't think you pay $20 million to somebody who can't play 2 ways. Right. To me, that's you could have kept Reggie Bullock for $10 million, and he doing what he could have did what my man do. He could have played both sides of the ball, offense and defense, for $10 million that Reggie Bullock got. He do the same thing Fournier do with better defense. You know what I mean? So I do think that experiment. I don't think you got. I don't think the Knicks got their money's worth with Evan Fournier. That's what I'm trying to say. Not that he's not a good player. I'm not questioning his skill set. I'm not questioning he's a good player, but he didn't fit what we needed. That's what I think. I just think he didn't fit what we needed.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And like I said, everything they did this year was a roll of the dice. They rolled the dice. They said, you know what? We seen that playoff game against Atlanta. We seen who did what they had to do, and these guys didn't provide it. Let's bring in 2 scorers now, proven players in the NBA. Evan Fournier had a decent year, played in the Olympics. We all tuned to Olympics. We seen that first 5-6 games. Knicks started 5-1. Divine, me and you were at that very first game in the Garden. We was like, oh man, Evan Fournier. Oh man, it was a beautiful sighting. Mm-hmm. But the one thing we didn't think about is, can he consistently, and can this team consistently play at the same pace they played, even in the preseason when they went undefeated in the preseason? They had 25, 26 3-pointers in one game. I mean, I was like, you know what, they might break the NBA record for 3-pointers this year. I said that. It could happen still, because we know if they make 3s, it could happen, but this team is just too inconsistent, and I know the front office has to see everything we're seeing. We're seeing this as fans. So imagine everything that they're seeing in the inner circle with the training, the late workouts, the coming back, and who's here, who's there, who's really. So it's like, if you got all those questions, guess what? I don't care who's getting paid what. A change needs to happen, and somebody got to put their foot down and change the rhetoric right now, and it starts tonight. Because we want to win as a fan base. If not, like I said, the Knicks will never lose their fan base. That's one thing we're not going anywhere. But the one thing we do as a fans, we like hard work, man. Even show your work, show your worth, man. Show that you really want to be part of this thing in New York City. Guess what, man? We here. We're a loyal fan base. We'll forgive you. We'll boo you, but guess what? We'll also salute you when you doing the things that you need to do out there on that basketball court. And if not, guess what? We're gonna get you up out of here. So yes. That's all, D.
Yep, absolutely. You know what? And it was interesting to me because I heard a report too as well that the front office told Tibbs to start shuffling some of the young guys in there. I think the front office might be on that train. At least some of them. That So I do think the next 4 games, like I said, between now and the 10th, if the Knicks don't make a leap, then you have to make it happen, because I think the New York Knicks fan base will appreciate young, hard work, the guys putting in great effort. Even though if you lose the game, you fight, you scrap, you're going hard. You see the maturation and the development of the young players. I think we'll settle for that in the losing season. Granted, I want to be in the playoffs, and I still think that this team would have been. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, KJ, even though we needed the Jet Fournier up out of here and Jet Kimber, let's say we can't do it, then all you got to do is put them on the bench.
Right.
You know what I mean? At least let Grimes and Quickly, but I do think you could. You know what? But I do think you can get Kemba Walker for a second pick. Send Kemba Walker to a contender. Just send him to a contender. Get some guys in here so they can develop now. Now that you think especially if we out of it. If we out of it, that's a different story. Then to me, you start building them young boys confidence for next year. You know what I mean? But I do think we got to. What I would love to see, guys, ladies and gents, I want to see the New York Knicks do a 3-for-1 deal, basically. Try to move out 3 players and get 1 player in here.
Right.
And then you freeing up 2 roster spots, then Cam Reddish guaranteed to get some minutes. So let's say whether it's minor or small, if you can will and deal 3-for-1, and free up some roster spots for that one guy you playing probably going to be in the rotation, and the other 2. I mean, you got 2 open roster spots that go Cam Reddish and Grimes. Even though when Derrick Rose come back, Cam Reddish and Grimes guaranteed to play. Right. That's all the Knicks really need to do, basically. And then I still think you can establish the season. I think you can establish the season with the team you got. You start quitting Grimes. I don't think Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier need to start for the Knicks. I think if you're going to keep one of them in there, one of them needs to sit down because it's a turnstile on defense. It's a turnstile. So one of them cats got to sit down because all 2 of them just make the defense so poor. But I hope it starts tonight, though. I hope it starts tonight. We go in there, get it popping tonight. Get a victory, man. We just got to get one game at a time, like we all say. But if we don't get that one tonight, it is not going to look good up in New York City
at all. You've been saying this. Evan Fournier and to me, I was trying to give Ev a little break. I'm like, you know what? This man can come out of his shell. I know this man can shoot three. He heard us every time when he was in Orlando, we played him. He heard us every single time, even in Boston. So I'm like, you know what? We finally got a player back that hurts us all the time they play us. But then it's the opposite effect. Now it's like you really hurting us. So it's like we need something. And I think like I said, Tibbs has to know, like, hey, man, look, I'm trying to win, man. I hear the talk. You got to hear that talk. You got to hear the boos and to put this player in. Like, as a coaching staff, like, you got to go against the grain. And I just feel like Tibbs, him being so stubborn, he's only going to listen to his beat. And that's what I see with him right now. But it's still to be determined. We have not played yet tonight. So this is going to be another evening to see what is your rotation going to be. Are you going to bring in guys like a McBride, a Cam Reddish in, guys that provide defense, guys like a Bullock and Peyton that provide defense like that got us the 41 wins? And that's my thing is you got guys on the bench that play defense, but you're not utilizing their skill in this game. Even if they're not scoring, guess what? They're providing what we need. Defense wins championships. And if we're going to get to that championship level team, we got to play the right defense, but we don't have the pieces. The pieces are buried on the bench because you're starting guys like Manchild said, we're the worst starting five in the league. Guys, we're 23 and 27. Like, come on, something has to change right now. If you can't figure out after 20 games, we can see that. We damn near at almost 40-something games, 50-something games, I'm sorry, and we still haven't figured it out. So for me as a fan, that's a problem for me because you're not recognizing what you have on that bench to play. And something has to change quick, D.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's one thing, and I used to love when Tom Thibodeau say it, but now it's starting to be kind of me. He said, if you get yourself in it, you got to get yourself out of it. I agree with that to this point. What happens when you can't get yourself out of it? When do you know you can't get yourself out of it? And that's what I'm starting to say where it might be the time for the change. If you know Kemba Walker, Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, and all of them got themselves in it, what about they can't get themselves out of it? So you can't use that philosophy no more. To me, it's a little bit too late now. So I'm like, if you know what, sometimes what they said, you are what your records say you are. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that the way it looks right now with that starting lineup, to me, we pretty much are who we are. So it's not like once they get down, they can't get back up. And like I said, you putting a lot of pressure on Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly. You putting all the pressure on them young guys to bail these older guys out. I just think that's I think that's not fair to them. You know what I mean? So I do think they got to find a way to shake that thing up, man. I would love to see Quentin Grimes going there for my man Evan Fournier right now. I think it'll make a big difference. And I think whoever you can get in there for Kemba, I think Quickly is playing. You can't tell me Quickly not having a better season than Kemba Walker. Nobody on the team can tell me that. He's having a better season than him. Granted, because when Derrick Rose come back, then that's fine. Because, that's how I used to be back in the days, KJ. You had a real nice team with a lot of savvy veterans on the bench, like mid-level players. They was on the bench to just get them guys in the starting unit some breathing room. You know what I mean? And I think, man, to me, you got to switch this thing up quickly. No pun intended, because I don't think it's going to go the right way. But let's see how it go tonight. And then that, like I said, after today is February 1st tomorrow. 2 more days, Julius Randle's available to be traded. Let me tell you something right now, guys, ladies and gents. If Julius Randle here Boo Birds tonight, that's just going to make matters worse. Julius Randle got to come out there with a monster game tonight. If Julius Randle do not come out in New York City tonight against the 18-33 whatever Sacramento Kings, and don't put up a game that he's supposed to, man, it's going to be disappointing when you see Twitter tomorrow, when you see Instagram, whatever. It's going to be a nightmare. The back pages, the Daily News, the New York Post. It's going to be, if Julius Randle don't pop tonight, guys, that's going to be tough to deal with. And I'll say that at all respect out of Julius Randle. That's why I want him to pop tonight. I want to see Julius Randle drop 30 tonight. He need to start being Julius Randle. Stop trying to get a ball to Evan Fournier. And no, go do you, man. You and RJ Barrett take this thing over. No more trying to worry about Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. No, you cats need to get y'all points and get y'all rebound and get y'all assists and let them just get in where they fit in. That's it. Because that's what happened last year with Reggie Bullock and Elfrid Payton. They got in where they fit in. You let them guys get in where they fit in. You should not be depending on Fournier to be your main dude. No, Julius Randle, you the main dude. You know, right. go there and drop 20, 25 and 11 with 6 assists or something like that. You know, but you know, and I think if he don't do that, man, I just hope he have a good game tonight.
Right. AD, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us been Knicks fans longer than others, right? You know my journey since the 90s, right? And this goes for everybody. Since you have been watching Knicks, I have how old you are, right? When was the last time that we felt this great about our young infrastructure in New York City on this team?
Long time.
And D, I'm gonna have you answer that question. For me, I got to go back to the 90s when we had Chris Childs, Derek Harper, Charlie Ward. You know, young. We had guys. You know, we had a team, but the young infrastructure. I really can't remember a time like this that we had not just one, not just two. We have about 4 or 5 young guys that could potentially get to that all-star level, right? Grimes, RJ Barrett, right? Mitchell Robinson, maybe. You know, we have guys. Never exact for me. I can't remember a time. How about you, D?
I would say even though they've been in the league, they were still young at the time. When you have Marbury, Jamal Crawford, and my man Zach Randolph, Zebo, they were still young then. David Lee, them guys back then, them days. That was part of, you know, that was a nice. I just hated that time and space was just driven by a lot of media and Isaiah and everybody and all this stuff because man, that young team, man, they, you know, that was Jamal Crawford was a young boy when Stephon Marbury was just young, just leaving Minnesota, but he still was young. Zach Randolph was still young. You know what I mean? Cats was young. Eddie Curry was young. You know what I mean? Then he flamed out, but them cats was young back then. Yeah, and that was about the last time I can recall, man. And but we got it now, man. That, like you said, we got a lot of nice young talent here. And I think it's time to unleash these dudes, man. If this starting lineup, if Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, and Julius Randle throwing them in there too. If Alex Burks been playing terrible the last couple of games, that's what's so disappointing to me. Why is Tibbs not holding the veterans who's thinking of a joint accountable and taking the leash, making a short leash on the younger guys? Right. Alex Burks, the way he playing shit, you know, and we know MJ Burks can get it. We know he can get it. But right now, I'd rather put Cam Reddish in right now the way he playing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It's that I think he got to be fair with this thing and like let the young guys who could do that. Cam Reddish should be playing over Alex Burks as of right now because Alex Burks has been sticking it up. Kemba Walker should not be playing in front of whether it's Quickly, whether it's whoever. I just think that's not fair to them guys because they probably looking at it like, man, damn, I could play better than he playing right now. And they mind, like, yo, I could play better than that. And that's why you're supposed to do as a competitor. As a competitor, you're supposed to be like, listen, I know that's my teammate, but he's sticking up a joint. I'll be like, coach, let me in. See, I think they built different than me. I'll be like, Tibbs, no pun intended. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, coach, but I think you should let me play over him. That's what I think they missing. That somebody got to have that in they. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Child as well. That was a nice young team right there, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. That them young boys before we traded them.
That's when we made that trade. And remember that everybody was like, "Man, we should have traded for Melo. We should have kept that. We kept them pieces together." So yeah, that's good one, man. Child on that one. I forgot about that one. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I can remember that vaguely, man. And I know you was talking. Sorry about that, but that man, child hit a valve on that one because that was the one we said, you know what? If we would have kept this team together and they started gelling together, but we made that trade. But hey, it seems like we had all the talent at the right time, the wrong time. I mean, not the right time, the wrong time. We had all different guys, but it is what it is, D. You know, so.
Yo, facts a lot, Wild. I agree with you 100%, brother. 100, 120, 130% on that. That's what it is. It's more about business and basketball. It really is. And I think that you know, and they got to find a way to to make that work both ways. Because like I said, I know, like I said, we all built from a different cloth, the way we grow up now, the way a lot of these cats grow up, especially me. But I'll be like, yo, coach, sometimes you got to let somebody know that you deserve to play. And sometimes, without being disrespectful, without trying to be, say, coach, can I get my shot, man? I understand that, I understand the situation. I understand that Kemba and these guys, but I feel like I can help the team out better. And once you put that word team in there, then he got to think about it. You know what I mean? Because, man, but like I said, we know he's stubborn, and then probably trying to say, you know what, if I'm going to go down, I'm going down with these guys. And I just think that's a wrong mentality to have. I think you go down with all 15 guys.
Right.
But I do think after tonight, ladies and gentlemen, don't let the Knicks lose that game tonight. And real talk, Knicks real talk. Do not let them lose that game tonight. It's not going to be fun.
He might be getting on the plane tonight with Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
They might drop off Fox with us and take Julius on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Man, who knows?
Until we'll do the deal on the 3rd.
Right, exactly. It is what it is.
Yeah, but let's hope that we can shake all that off tonight, man, and get a win, because there's a lot of good opportunities out there, guys. There's a lot of good deadline moves that can help the Knicks. And there's a lot of good moves that they can help the Knicks if we be wisely about it. I'm hoping that Leon Rose and Scott Perry and Worldwide and all these guys, they know what they're doing there. I know they know what they're doing. That's the thing about it. They for the 2 years they've been here so far, they have done good with this organization, man. Like I said, that's something that. But you know what, Obi playing. But see, Obi got to do what he did the other night. He playing, but when you get that opportunity, you better take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Take advantage of it. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. Let me ask you guys this here: with the situation with Julius Randle, do y'all ever think Obi Toppin going to get the flourish from New York, along with Julius Randle at the 4? What do you guys literally think about that? Because Tibbs did keep him in the game and played him at the 5 the other night. So do you guys think, long as Julius Randle here, what does that do for Obi Toppin?
Right. Hey, I can answer that. Nothing. He cannot flourish with him here. And it just goes back to the year he was drafted. Mm-hmm. We were looking for a guy to replace Julius, right? But nobody in Knick Nation, Knick World knew that Julius was going to have the year he had. And we all thought that Julius was going to have an even better year this year. But it didn't pan out that way. So now it's, what do? We rolled the dice. We gave him a tradable contract. But what do we do now with Obi? It takes away Obi's maturation. Like Obi can go to Tibbs, but Tibbs is gonna shut him down. He's like, nah. It's only certain. D Rose can go to him with no problem. Taj Gibson and Julius Randle. You see what he did to Kemba Walker, right? Mm-hmm. He sat his butt down for 8-9 games. So it's only a certain amount of players. So is it safe to say these young players just say, nah, I'm not going there because I already know what it's going to be like already. I got to prove myself in practice. But guys, I would say, Tibbs, we 50 games in at 23 and 27. If you look around the league, I don't see what you're seeing, but let me in, coach. And because if I'm the difference maker, guess what? He doesn't want the player to be right. He wants to be right. So that's the issue that we're dealing with right now, guys.
Yeah. Hey, real talk, Frank. They definitely in the mix now. Cleveland, Lakers as well. They all in the mix, man. They need vets because they fight for the playoffs. And I agree to 100%, Frank. Good quote there. But here, I got one thing I want to give a fan base real quick. And I'm gonna give this to Thibodeau's credit. When Tom Thibodeau benched Kemba Walker, everybody was tripping. You see why he benched him? Let me put this out there now. The last 7 games, 1-6. The game we won, Kemba Walker did not play in that game. Now you see why Tom Thibodeau benched Kemba Walker.
Right. Problem is why he's still playing them now, though.
I guess now they might got to showcase him. They might got to showcase him. You know what I mean? But I was saying that, man, when they bought Kemba Walker back, he got the couple of games off, dropped 44. But now you see why Tom Thibodeau had put Kemba Walker out of the rotation.
Yeah. You're right, yeah.
Because it was a lot of sentimental stuff at the time. It was a sentimental feeling about Kemba Walker. Cardiac Kemba, all the New York City love. But Now you see why he had put him out of rotation. Look, since he's been in the rotation, look what the Knicks been doing since Kemba Walker been back in that starting lineup.
We 1-7 right now.
Right, and Tom Thibodeau seen that because when he wasn't in the lineup, we went 8-3 in 11 games. We was 8-3. We was one game over 500. Soon Kemba Walker come back to the team lineup. Boom, we took a nosedive.
So that goes to show you that it's the front office then. If that's the case, right, D? If I take a starter out and the team is doing better, but then things happen, then we gotta play him, and then now he's starting back again. Coach is like, I agree with you on that. And that's a great question to shoot out to the Nick Real Talk family, because it's a fact. But now we're at a crossroads now. It's a lot of what ifs. What are we gonna do now? This game tonight, D. Like what are some of the things that I know we talk about, some of the things we want to see, the players we want to see, but if it's one thing that you haven't seen yet on this team with the starting five, what would it be?
What would it be? Say it again. I'm sorry, I was reading quickly.
Yeah, so after 50 games, we've seen 50 games so far, right? We are the worst starting five man shot for that quote. We're the worst starting five in the league right now, percentage-wise, right? Through 50 games, what other thing do you want to see tonight with this team as far as offense and defense that we have not tried yet on that starting unit?
I think it starts with Evan Fournier. I go back, like I said earlier. The Knicks got the same team they had last year, except for the rookies and them two dudes. The exact same team, 100% up and down the board, except for two players and the rookies. Same exact team, except for two players that came in and the rookies. And I think that them two players you brought in, you thought was going to do something, but it didn't work out the way they planned it. You thought Evan Fournier wasn't going to be scoring 13 a game, inconsistent. God, remember now, for the first quarter of the season, Evan Fournier stunk up New York City. If you don't go check the tape, we was like, damn, Evan Fournier, come on. Kemba was out of rotation. They can't hold it down on defense for New York. They just don't have it. And you guys, what was our staple last year? What was the staple of the Knicks last year? The reason why we were 41-31. Number one of the top four defenses in the league. One of the top four defenses against 3-point percentage. That was our staple. That was our staple last year. Now we're at the bottom of the league in this, bottom of the league in that. The experiment just didn't work. I think them pieces just did not pan out for the Knicks. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Man, Child hit us with another one. The ball movement, D. Again, when we started at 5-1, that ball movement was so crisp. They pass it around, they find an open man, they shoot the ball, they make it. Find an open man, they make the shot. Problem is, we're missing the shots. And guess what? Teams are fast breaking on us, and we can't get back. We play defense. We can't play defense. We can't get out on our man. They make the shot. We tie it. So it was like, to me, the whole offense has to change. So my thing is, like Child said, ball movement is perfect. Right. We have to slow everything down again because this first unit cannot run. It's like we said, the first unit we thought was going to be like street ball basketball. We're going to run. Tibbs wants to get up and down, but the personnel on the first unit cannot do those things. That's why the second unit flourishes better than the first unit at times, because those young ladies can get out there and run. These guys can't run the way Tibbs wants to coach, but he has to wing it with them. So and when we're not making shots, we look like whatever team, the percentage wise we look, because of that reason right there, D.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But you know what's important too? And I agree with you 100%. You're a man child. But when you're not scoring, you can win basketball in other ways. There's other ways to win a basketball game. And I give Tibbs that credit. You defense and rebound to stop the other team. You got chances to win. Because like I said, Knicks could score 120, but they give up 126. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes, I don't care how good your offense is. If you can't stop nobody, they're going to score more than you. The name of the game is don't let the person outscore you. When that buzzer go off, your score want to be better than their score. So if your offense is popping and your defense is trash, the other team going to outpop you. And I think that's basketball. That at the end of the day is to make sure that your score is higher than their score. You got to stop people from scoring on you. That was the 41-31 fourth seed New York Knicks last year. Their defense was creme de la creme in the NBA, top of the food chain. Now their defense ain't there and they losing. Kemba Walker is not a defense ball player. When people blow by him and Evan Fournier, you put Mitchell Robinson in a bad situation, and if Julius Randle's head ain't in the game, he ain't picking up nobody. You know what I mean? Think about that. When a point guard or a shooting guard get in that lane, and Mitchell Robinson got to leave his man, and if Julius Randle ain't there, or RJ might be on the wing because they guarding their guys, right? It's barbecue chicken, like y'all say. It's all barbecue chicken, man. And the key to it is stop cats from penetrating. So you look. What do you think? Why Trae Young be getting the popping so much? Because when Trae Young get past them cats, it's either going to be him or Clint Capella, or he going to kick it out to an open 3-point shooter. Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, get up on them cats and stop letting them come in that lane, man. That's what basketball is about. You know, if you want to stop an avalanche from coming, you got to put a barrier up. If you got a flood coming to your house, what you gonna do? Throw up sandbag to keep the water from hitting your house? Okay, well, you got to put a barrier up in front of your stuff, man. You can't be letting cats just run up in there like that. That's crazy, and that's what's happening to the Knicks this year. They letting cats run up in the lane, and soon you ask Mitchell Robinson and him and Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett to pick up. You got to sit one of them guys down. I just think that's the only way this Knicks thing gonna work out, because they're giving up too many points. God, we giving them 30 points a quarter. In the first quarter.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Much.
And you know the big thing is that all teams play zone on us. Some reason we cannot handle the zone, and we have a quote unquote good shooting a 3-point team, right? We got a lot of 3-point shooters, but a zone. The reason why teams play zone on you is because they know you can't shoot. That's the reason.
Yep.
That's why people going from little kids to high school to college, they play a zone on somebody, team can't shoot. How is that when we have a whole bunch of shooters on this team? And it happens every single game. Team goes on, we cannot do anything on that zone. So what do? What are we going to do? We need to play zone on them too. Stop switching the man. We switching that ball. Guess what's going to happen? You try to switch, the legs is too old to get out to that man, and that's why we're losing that fight on defense, guys. We're losing that fight. We're not switching the defense. And guess what? You have the person now on the bench, buried on the bench, and you're not playing them because of whatever reason, the contract, it has to change. We have 50 games. 50. We've seen this at 20 games. Come on. Like, as a family, we're not coaches. I mean, some of us coach AAU in elementary and high school on these streams, but my thing is, in the NBA, this guy was a coach of the year. So my thing is, if I'm looking at tape, I'm going back and I'm looking at 250 games, and I can't identify this. What is really going on in New York City, guys? And that's why I said it's bigger than what we see from this side of the screen. It's a lot of things going on in there that we're not seeing, because 50 games, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars, and they can't identify this. Somebody needs to go. D.
Yeah. Hey guys, check this out. I'm gonna throw this up there right quick. I'm gonna holler this out to you. Check it out. All right, last game. Let's go. We scored 108 points. That's pretty good in the NBA, right? 108. You can go with that.
Yeah.
We gave up 123 points. 123. We scored 108. The offense wasn't that bad. But check it out. The game before that against Miami, we scored 96, and Miami scored 110. So that's 2 games in a row that them teams scoring over 100. So we beat the Clippers. We scored 110. They scored 102. See, we held the Clippers. We beat them because our defense held them, and we scored more. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Look at that defense game. 95-93. You know why we lost that game? Free throw shoot. So and the Timberwolves, we lost by 2 points. There it goes again. We scored 110 on offense. That's good in the NBA, right? We gave up 112. We getting outscored because our defense not stopping nobody sometime. And look at you look at the game that we like the one that we get the Mavericks. We was 108. Guess what they had? 85. Our defense shut them down. They shut them down. So it's a combination of both. You need both of them, offense and defense. But because of the way we are built, we don't have the defense to stop people. So it's going to be hard to outscore people.
Right.
You know, it's going to be hard to outscore people because our defense. And then you ask an Emmanuel quickly. You ask a rookie in Quentin Grimes. You ask a second-year player in Emmanuel quickly. You ask a second-year player in Obi Toppin. You ask an Alice Burks iffy. You ask these guys to come in here and drop 20, put up this to help the Knicks win basketball game because our starting lineup is getting blown out the water in the first quarter. It's 39 points against the Milwaukee Bucks, guys, in the first quarter. 39 points. So I think that's a tale of two seasons. I think that's the reason why we're going through what we're going through. I really think that our defense is just, if the New York Knicks, I guarantee you guys there, and I can put my life on it here. If we don't correct our defense mentality, we're not even making a play in. We know Julius Randle could drop. Check it out. We know Julius Randle could drop 20. We know RJ Barrett could drop 20. Shit, we know Kemba Walker could hit 44. We know my man could hit 30 or 40. But the problem is, them cats can't stop nobody. The people coming up in the garden robbing Madison Square Garden, KJ. We letting cats come up in Madison Square Garden and just rob the house. They just come in and robbing us, taking all our shit. And like you said, when we talk about the 90s Knicks, even the Mike Woodson Knicks, them cats was gritty. Carmelo, and Rasheed Wallace, Tyson Chandler, these are defensive-minded ball players, dog. We haven't had a defense-minded team since they left.
Hey, D, repeat that name again. Repeat that coach name you just said.
Mike Woodson.
Repeat it one more time.
Mike Woodson. You know, we haven't had that type of team. Check it out. We haven't had a defense ball club in New York since they left, and we've been out of the playoffs for 8 years. We're about to be out of it again this year because our defense sucks.
Is it safe to say by not us retaining Mike Woodson that look at his defense now? Because don't forget, when did Woodson leave last year? Did Woodson leave after the playoffs, or was it before the playoffs? He got the job in Indiana.
I think he left before. Mm-hmm.
But how many games in was that he leave? I can't really remember. If anybody in chat knows, let us know. When did Mike Woodson lead the Knicks last year? But there you go. The defense. He was our defensive ace. And not having that there, we don't know what these other guys, we talk about Johnny Bryan and some of these other guys on the bench, but it's like they're not proven. Like what's happening there? Like, how is the drop-off so drastic from year to year when we have more pieces that were supposedly better than the pieces that left here in Bullock and Payton?
Yeah. Let me answer Knicks 100 question. It wasn't about Melo, Nick GM. It was about the team defense. It was. We know Melo's not a great defender, but the team was a good defensive team. I don't have a problem this year if one of them dudes, whether it was Kemba Walker or Evan Fournier, I could sacrifice one of them not being good on defense. I can't sacrifice both of them. Team defense is what makes a basketball team. It's not one guy. One guy can't stop 5 players. You know what I mean? So let's throw that out there. All I'm trying to say, Nick 100, is that Melo wasn't a good defender. He did make an effort every now and then, but we had good defenders to cover for him because he was our main go-to guy with the basketball. But we did have guys that can cover for him. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I said that team with Mike Woodson, you had the defense player of the year and Tyson Chandler there. You know what I mean? You had guys who could really lock it down on the defense. You know what I mean? So it takes a team, and that's why I'm trying to get back to this year. Look at last year's team. Payton could play defense. Mitch could play defense. Noel could play defense. Bullock could play defense. We had guys on that team last year that's why they were one of the better teams in the defense in the team last year. But so I do think that's the case this year, that we don't got the defenders we had last year. So, yeah. Yep. To be honest with you. Shaw Powell. Shaw Powell's good, fam.
Salute. What's going down, Divine? Peace. Everything, man. Just leaving work, man. Had a late night shift tonight, man. Heading to the car right now.
Cold out there.
Yeah, it's a little brick city out here. I'm glad I got a little starter on the car. I jump in the whip. It's a little warm up in this piece.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, man? What's up? What's popping tonight?
We talking Knicks, man. Just doing what we do best. Trying to get it ready, get everybody excited for the night. Talking about this and that, man. You know how we do in Knicks Real Talk, man. We in here, trying to hope we can bounce back and win this game tonight. We need a game win in the worst way tonight.
There's no question about this, man. If we don't get this win tonight, man, the Knicks crew that's out there the rest of the year is gonna get crucified, man. Randall, we're gonna hear a whole lot about Tibbs and firing Tibbs. There's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff, man. We can't go down 5 games in a row, man. We need this win, and we still right in the mix of everything, man. We still right in the mix of everything, man. We only like two and a half games of being like 8th, 9th pick, 7th, 8th, or 9th. It's still a chance, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk, man. I think we got a good chance, man. We just got to go in there and scrap today. 48 minutes, New York City basketball. Go hard, man. It's go hard to go home. You can't let this trap game night. You can't let the boys come up in the garden and run amok up in there tonight. Nope. If the Knicks let the kid walk out of MSG with a win tonight, and certain players don't come to the forefront and do what they do, it's gonna be a long night, man. I mean, listen, the post games on people's streams and the paper, then the bird's gonna be out chirping, KJ. Crazy.
Hey, it's that time. First day of Black History Month tomorrow starts February 1st. 9 games. I mean, they're gonna be 10 days away. They're gonna hear this. They're gonna hear the trade deadline. Who's staying or who's going? That has to be the mantra. Who's staying and who's going? Who wants to be here for the long haul? If you're not built for this, guess what? Pack your bags. I don't care what the contract is. Come to the coaches, let us know. You can't be here. But guess what? They have opportunity. They have time to change the rhetoric. The season is still not over. Okay, they could do this. This is around the same time last year that we had that record and we went 16-4. So it can happen. And I'm affirming, like Devon says, optimistic. I'm very optimistic too, and I believe we're only 2 games out the 8th spot, right?
2 games.
And Devon says this all the time. Look at the way we've been playing, but we're still right here. But the New York Knicks have basically spoiled us as a fan base because of the year they had last year. The pieces who we thought they brought in was going to do a better job. They spoiled us. So guess what? What happens when you see spoiled kids? We're going to act out, right? And that's what we're a bunch of spoiled kids. And guess what? We got every right to be spoiled kids because the Knicks in the past 20, 22, 25 years, we have not seen this type of time that we're seeing in New York City as far as young infrastructure and winning basketball in New York City. So it feels bad when we start losing it because it puts the bad taste back in our mouths. Like, come on, here we go with this again. We getting older. I want to see a championship. I got to see a championship sooner or later. So,
yeah. Let me, Frank. I meant to answer that question earlier. I apologize, but we got caught up in the moment. He said, "Would I trade Randall for Barnes in the first?" But Barnes got $50 million left on his deal. If I'm not mistaken, 2 years. That's a good call there. In a sense, I would because you're getting rid of that contract. Harrison Barnes is a veteran. He know how to play the game. He's been in the league for a minute. He know how to play. He's been on a championship team with the Warriors. I don't know if he won it that year with them, but he was on that team. But he a North Carolina dude, so I'm good with that. Tar Heel dude, so I'm good with that. But the gain of first round pick, and here's the good thing about that, Frank Matos, that first round pick won't be bad because it's not going to be a low pick because Sacramento ain't really like they going anywhere. So you might get it. You never know. You might get a good pick out that deal, especially if it's unprotected or whatever. So yeah, I might have to entertain that, Frank Matos, just due to the fact you can after this year Harrison Barnes to have aspiring after next year, so you can always move him. But he's a savvy dude, and so I would definitely have to listen to that. I would definitely have to entertain that for sure. Salute to Jarvis. Real talk. My man out there, Louisiana. We got my man Jarvis holding us down. Salute Jarvis. Salute to the whole chat, man. Your cats are bringing a man, child, everybody. Salute to y'all, Frank, everybody, Nick 100. Y'all got to pop on a lot wide on the whole chat, man. We got a game in about another 20 minutes. Nick's got to go to MSG and try to get this thing going. I would have to definitely think about that for sure, Frank Montola. I don't know how the Knicks will feel about that, but you would have to entertain it. At least you saving a lot of that contract. You know what I mean? And it'd be nice if you could do a 3-way deal, move that around, and get Harrison Barnes going somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if not, I would have to entertain. I would have to think about that. Harrison Barnes, he's a real savvy veteran dude. And I think he'll help the Knicks more than he hurt. Because here's why. I think you could bring Harrison Barnes in, and believe it or not, AJ, I would put Obi Toppin and bring Harrison Barnes off. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what, D? We know anything involving this big contract, it's not just going to be straight up trade. It's going to be 2 or 3 teams involved here because it's just too many moving pieces here with that. So I agree with you. If I'm the management right now and I had to talk, I'm going to have a talk with Julius Randle. Based on the conversation from what he tells me, if he says, hey, look, man, I thought it was going to be something, but it's not that. I want to move. But move me into somewhere that I could flourish or pretty much do the same thing or whatever the conversation is, make it happen. Because we're 23 at 27 at 50 games, and we've seen the product on the floor through 50 games. Now, we all know if it's something that we don't like and we done seen it over and over again and it's not working, something has to change. So what is going to be that something? So I would entertain it, definitely.
What you think, Powell?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I knew you were finished.
I'm big on this. It's all going to be, we all going to find out what's going to happen in these next couple of games that go on. And if we're going to make a big move, or if we're going to make a small little move just to free up some cap space. I think we move the 2 players. I think we move 2 players, and then we just hope for the best, man. I think if we move Kemba Walker, and if we move Alec Burks and get that $18 million cap space, I think the 10-man rotation could flourish. That 10-man rotation would be IQ with the starters: IQ, Evan, RJ, Mitch, and Randall. And the second unit would be with D Rose returning, D Rose, Grimes, Reddish, Noel if he's healthy, and Obi. I think we could run with that crew, man. And I think Tibbs kind of understands now that these guys need to get these secondary guys, these guys coming off the bench needs a little bit more minutes. So we could see Randall with less minutes, 28 to 32 minutes. We could see RJ with a less amount of minutes, but still have a productive game. We need to see what happens with Reddish. We need to see where he's at. And I think Red.
Yes. So,
there
you go. Go ahead, Sean, you back.
So I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be a real good unit, that secondary unit right now.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I can see that as well, Nick 100. I can see that as well. If you want to add somebody with that, and what I'm trying to look at from the Knicks standpoint with the Julius Randle contract, what I want to see the Knicks do with that, I'm not even advocating moving Randle, but a reason why Randle's on a moving block to me, guys, not because Julius Randle the player, none of that. It's because the fan base, half of the fan base seems like they done tuned him out. It don't have nothing to do with Randle because he's not good. I just think that every time he go through something, half of the fan base gonna be drilling him. Half of the fan base gonna support him. Yeah. That's the only reason that's the only reason I bring Randle up, not because Randle put us on his back last year, dude. I know this ain't last year, but in the contract year, the man was dropping it. We bring 2 new players in now. He's not the same player he was, because I think the players you brought in affected his game. I think Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier affected his game. But being that his name was out there in the trade noise, and he went through that situation with the fans with the STUP and thumbs down, if that's going to be haunting him, then it's best to move on from him. That's all I'm saying. The only reason I even think about moving Julius Randle is that reason right there. for the next 4 years at 117 million, if the New York City fan base, every time that young man go through something, are they going to hear that? Is he going to hear that? That's the only reason I'm advocating for moving Randall, because because you can always get a number one player here to go with Randall.
Right.
You could get another player here who better than Randall, let Randall become a second option. But because of all of the other stuff that doesn't happen, I don't know if he can recover from that. Right. And then what I seen the other night disappointed me so much, man. When Obi Toppin hit that floor the other night, Julius Randle looked at Obi Toppin and sprinted around and walked away. That thing rubbed me the wrong way so bad the other night. And then Kemba Walker and RJ Barrett ran over there and picked Obi up off the floor. I don't nitpick about a lot of stuff. I don't, because I'm not a nitpicker. But that's your soldier. When your man go down, you be there to pick him up.
No matter what, yep.
Right. You literally looked at this dude and turned around and went the other way.
Yeah, I seen that.
Man, listen, that wasn't a good look. You know what I mean? That just wasn't a good look.
Right. That goes with the whole thing. Can he withstand the contract with 4 years being look, this is the first year of that contract, right? Mm-hmm. First year. Can we see, based on 50 games this year, guys, can you see Julius Randle here within 4 years? We're talking about it now. Can we really see him here to his whole contract?
It's gonna be tough, man.
I think I'm pushing for let's finish out this year, because in this off season we can make some major moves, especially if we gain a couple of a couple of pickups for Burks. We might not could get a first round for Burks, but we might could get 2 seconds. We might could get a second round for Kemba, and then our war chest is kind of heavy, man. And then in the off season we also have some contracts that are going to be expiring, at least 1 or 2 contracts that could be expiring, that could be put together in a trade to make a major move, because I don't know if what the Knicks are looking at, but there's a couple of guys that contracts are ending, and they could look forward to trying to pick those guys up in the off season without trading anybody, trading a pick or adding somebody right now. It's a couple of deals, and we got to look and see if what's going to happen with Mitch. Is he going to stay here with us, or are we going to move Mitch? We definitely got to try to move Noel. No, I don't think Noel comes back next year. I'm skeptical about if D Rose is going to be here. They might try to make a plan for D Rose to go back to Chicago. They might see to try to push him over that way and free up that $14 million. They may, there's a couple of things that they could do I think they're just going to push through this year, because a major trade right now, say for instance, we trade Randall. We trade Randall right now, we are sunk. This season is over. That is it. We trade Randall right now, this season is kaput. We might as well say we about as bad as the Pacers this year. We trade Randall right now. So I think if we do trade Randall, I think it's going to be in the off season. I think if we move Noel, I think it's going to be in the off season. And you see what happens. There's a lot of guys out there, man. There's still these rumors about Brunson out there. There's still these rumors about Donovan, which that would take a big, something big, but there's still some things to do in the off season. If we could get this 10-man rotation going right now, the 10-man rotation that I mentioned, I think we can. They already gelling. They already play together. Lessen somebody's minutes and just see how far we can go with them this year. If we make the play in, it's on and popping.
Yep. Yeah. You know what? I agree with you in one sense too. But let me ask you a question. If they literally, just say they literally would do this, the Kings would take Julius Randle for De'Aaron Fox and whatever. Would you do that?
Yep.
Because
right now, I hate to say it, but I probably think about taking it.
I'm gonna tell you what's interesting about that. Because at least next year, you know what you're going into the season with. You kind of setting the table already. You know what I mean? Next year, De'Aaron Fox will be your starting point guard in New York. Not saying that's going to happen, guys. I'm just saying if that was the case. At least you setting the table, because here's the thing we all got to think about. If we don't will the deal right now, Knicks don't got no cap money. No cap money.
Right.
No cap money.
I'm
So
happy you
that's
said
why I
that.
said you could move Kimber for a couple of picks, move Alex Burke for a couple of second-round picks. I mean, and if you're not going to keep Julius Randle, move him for some expirings. I'm not worried about how much of the talent that you bring back in. I'm worried about that getting that $117 million back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that way you can spend that money on another dude. And this is a good free agent class coming out this year. It wasn't going to be a dynamic as it was going to be early in the year, but a lot of guys signed back with their teams. But this is going to be a pretty decent free agent class. So if you have to move on from him or Fournier, Jetson him, man. Because that way, what it does is, like I said, I think there's a lot of good deals. Like I keep saying earlier, the Nurkic and Robert Covington deal is $26 million of expiring money sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you got Joe King, Noah, $6 million coming back to you. You picked up a couple of million this year with the Cam Reddish trade and getting involved with the Rondo trade. You can. I think Brock Alleman is wise enough and savvy enough to keep the core of the people we got and go into next year with money to plug in, and this time make better decisions with the players you're bringing in. I think that could be one of the ways to get out of this mess if we could find a way. Granted, take other teams to want our product too. Right. But I do think a lot, and I think Frank Montos might have hit it right on the head earlier. People like Cleveland who fight for the playoff spot, Lakers who need a veteran for a playoff spot, Utah now who need a players who are going to be in that veteran type of to help them in the playoffs. Them guys probably open for business. They probably open for business, KJ, and I think you got to kind of talk to them and see what's out there.
Look at that young Cleveland team. No difference from us right now. Nobody predicted Cleveland had a record they're having. So, absolutely. The bank is open. Like, who's to say, hey, if that deal happened right now with Fox, I would do it in a heartbeat. Because, like you said, we know what we have in the young infrastructure, and the team may play differently with a younger core of players. Now it's no malice. We don't know the stronghold Julius has. Well, we do know. Julius has a big stronghold on his team. What he says matters. Maybe that what RJ's doing now, RJ's like, you know what, he's doing what he has to do right now. But it's other players out there too that can do the same thing. So we can keep going back and forth about what they're going to do. Hey, we got to get it tonight, man. We got to get it back out there, one game at a time, and make it happen. But I do agree with you on this standpoint. If Julius has another bad game, terrible game, and not saying he's not scoring, is doing terrible, but he's not doing the things that picking his teammates up doing, we're going to boo him right out of Madison Square Garden. And he might be on that plane tonight going to Sacramento, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real tough. But listen, we're going to get ready to get it popping because, the game's starting in about 6 minutes. I got my Shaw Powell finally got in a residence.
Okay, Shaw.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we about to get it popping. The Knicks go on in a few, man. Hopefully they can win this game tonight, ladies and gents. Get back at it, get a win. Just win and cure us all, man. Just get a win tonight. All we talk about tonight might be different tomorrow if these win that game tonight. They go on Madison Square Garden tonight. Just win the game. Come on, man. Get off that 4-game losing streak. Get a win under your belt. And get a good feeling. Get a good feeling back in the Garden and give us something positive to talk about how gritty they played, how gutsy they played, how good they shot the 3-ball, how good they rebounded. We want to talk about stuff like that. But right now, when you lose 4 games in a row, you want to hear what we're talking about. I don't care what stream you go on. I don't care what platform you go on. I don't care what newspaper you read. When you losing, you're going to hear this stuff. Because the sky's falling. And the sun ain't out. You know what I mean? So, but I do think the Knicks win that game tonight. And man, and I'm just going to go on this one here. They don't. I don't think they got nothing for us. I'm gonna go 110 to 96 tonight. 110-96. Defense come to play. Offense get it popping against an 18-33 team. Shouldn't be a trap game. I'm hoping not. And I think we go out there tonight and give these boys the business and we win that game tonight. What do you think, Sean?
I'm solid about that, man. I think it's gonna be. I mean, what I want to happen is I want this to be a blowout, man. I want it to be like a 99 to like 117, 118. I want them to put a stamp on this game, and I need for Randall to get out there tonight and really represent, man. Because it's not gonna look good any day after today if Randall goes out there and he stinks up the place tonight, man. That February 3rd can't come quick enough, man, because he's available at February 3rd.
Mm-hmm. For me, guys, I think the table's set in New York City. I think that I think we win the game, but I don't see nothing big. I see it's a low scoring game. I see it 95 to 85. I don't think Randall has a good game. I think the noise is too big for him right now, and it's gonna be with me, and we just gonna boo him out of here and share contracts. But I got us winning 95-85 tonight.
Okay. I think for me, guys, look for the first quarter. You would tell the way that game gonna go in the first quarter. Well, look at the first quarter and see what the Knicks do. If the Knicks give up 30 points tonight against a team like this.
No.
Yeah.
then everything I would talk about tonight with that defense, everything that I talk about tonight, I make sure y'all give me my flowers, because I'm telling you, let the Knicks give up 30 points tonight. Again. Then the second unit got to come in and bail these boys out. That's not what your second unit is for. Your second unit is supposed to come in there to either help you maintain the lead or extend the lead, not try to catch up to the other team. That's not why you got a second unit for. They're able to give your guys rest and hold the game down till your starters get back in there. Let's hope that we don't give up no 30 points tonight in the first quarter. It'd be abysmal for me. It really would. Yeah. All I wanted to see that McBride, Grimes, Cam, Obi, Sim line up with Tibbs. I ain't mad at you, brother. Real talk, 100. I'm with you on that. I want to see the young boys get in there and get it popping, man. That's why I want a good blowout. That's why I would love to see the Knicks get up in these first quarters, guys. Say we got a 10 to 13 point lead in the first quarter. The guys get to stay in longer. See, and that's another reason why Obi always got to go back out, because Tibbs think Randall always going to bring us through. But sometimes that's not the case. Y'all need to get up in these first quarter, get a lead. So when Obi and them and Grimes and them and quickly come, they ain't got to be rushed to get thrown back out there because we trying to catch up to somebody. That's the Achilles heel right now, Shaw Powell, to be always down in that first quarter. And time these young dudes bring them back. Now Ted think that they got us back in the game. Our starting unit come back in. Our starting come back in. They take us right back out the game.
Yeah, first and third quarters has been our Achilles heel this year, man. We got a little better with the third quarter, but that first quarter, man, it usually slaughters us, man. And if we could get out there today, even if it's not, even if we're losing, if it's 28 to 24 or 26, it might make it a little better than for the team to go out 31 to 18, 31 to 20 or something like that. We do not need a losing first quarter. And that third quarter is another quarter that we need to come out and dominate, man. Those first and third quarters, man, I've been saying that if we could hold down that first quarter and that third quarter, we could be fine for this game tonight.
Yep, real talk. Yeah, man, real talk, man. Yo, salute to the chat. Great show, KJ. We got my man Shaw Powell got in just in time. He was on a grind in the cold weather, bringing
yes, sir.
We do. Let's get it popping, but let's go get this thing winning, man. Frank Matos, D. Ross, Nick 100, everybody, man. Let's get it popping. Man, child, thank you, my brother, for coming in as always.
Yes,
appreciate you, Fabian. You already know what it is. Let's get it. D. Rob, Frank again, Jarvis, Louisiana, man. You know how we do. Land of the gumbo in the building. Salute to everybody, man. Let's go get this W, man. We need this win today in the worst way for sure, man. Peace to the God of our wives, Esco, New York, my man. Salute to you. D Cool, my man in the building. Everybody, Unique Law, peace to you. That's my Frisco right there. Salute Big Tass. All the brothers always up since always been here, man. Let's get it popping. We need a win today, fellas. Let's go get it. Let's see how we're gonna pull this thing off again, man. Chris was in the building. You sister, appreciate you coming in. My man Will of Thrills out there in Colorado in the building, holding us down. Got Fabian in the building.
Colorado.
Cash out James. Let's keep it moving. I said, man, we got Shop Howard once there, but now he's here. Like I said, be nice, my man. Salute and everybody, man. Roberto Hernandez, appreciate you, my brother, man. Thank you for coming being a part of the family. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, man, when y'all leave out the building, because we're going to keep it coming all the time. And let's go get it, man. Let's try to get this W tonight, man. Let's go in and make Matt Square Garden and get a victory tonight, man. Bodega Wi-Fi, salute to you. Man, Keith Turner, salute to you. Salute to you. I ain't finished yet. I can't leave nobody out. Keith Turner, like I said, got Bodega, got everybody, man. Salute to everybody, man. Great show, great participation. Knicks got to get it tonight. We need a victory in the worst way tonight. Let's turn this thing around. It ain't over till it's over. One win could change a lot of things. We got 2 games at home. And we just got to go in there and try to win some of them and get back at what we do. Until then, man, Shaw Powers, KJ Events, Divine, the chat. We in here, man. Y'all enjoy that game tonight, man. And I hope they do free Cam tonight, Frank Montos. I want to see Cam Reddish get in the building tonight. Let's get it popping. Come on, Tibbs, man. Them cats sticking up the joint and get Cam Reddish in there for sure. Let him see what he could do. McBride and all of them. But yeah, man, great show. I see y'all guys tomorrow on the follow-up time. But yeah, let's enjoy that game tonight. Go Knicks.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Everybody enjoy, man. See you cats on the next episode. Peace.